I think the Bears drafted the wrong QB. Number one.
Going straight to the top. Just put the stack on the clock. I am Ray Allen's a shot. I'm going straight to the top.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Mike here, Sports and the Real Shit podcast coming at you once again. As always, I appreciate you guys listening in, watching, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you're listening, watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share. Family and friends, all that good stuff. Comment. Let me know what's up. Website, sportsandthereal.tv. Sportsandthereal.tv is the website. Check it out. But let's jump right in, y'all. Let's jump right in. Football's in full swing. College football, NFL, basketball, training camps opening up. So we'll touch on a couple of things. Buckle up. Let's go. College football, my Seminoles suck. Trash. Last game we got blown out by SMU, who recently joined the ACC, and I don't know what to make of it. People say, well, Florida State sucks because they rely on the transfer portal. Well, the transfer portal is what got them to. They were supposed to be in the championship round in the playoffs last year. The transfer portal is what got them there, and they had no choice. Willie Taggart left a really bad situation for the Seminoles. So they had to recruit differently to get back to some semblance of winning. Like, nobody really expected us to be a championship caliber team so quickly, but thanks to the transfer portal, we were. But the problem now with the transfer portal, which is happening to Florida State, and which I feel like is going to happen to a lot of teams, is if you don't have like a backstop, like a backlog of homegrown talent, then you're going to struggle with the transfer portal, because the transfer portal dudes aren't going to be loyal. They're going to come to you or to the next guy or whatever. Or they just go to the league. So UGA primarily relies on their recruiting. They got a backlog, a back jam of 4 or 5 stars waiting to play. So does Alabama. And that's where Florida State needs to get to. So at some point, Mike Novell is going to have to recruit some high schoolers, because right now the dudes on Florida State's team, I don't want to say it, but they don't belong at Florida State. They don't look like they belong at Florida State, man. I'm sorry. The dudes currently wearing garnet and gold don't look like they belong at Florida State. I hate to talk about college kids like that, but they're getting paid now. But seriously, though, it's tough watching the Florida State Seminoles, and I think a lot of it is the fact that our approach, Mike Novell's approach to recruiting, it was like, hey, man, Willie Taggart left me trash, all right? And trash was left at Willie Taggart's door, okay? So it is what it is, right? No need to rehash the past. But when Mike Novell took over, the team was terrible, soft, like quickly turned it around, got some recruits in, got some transfer portal guys in, Jared Verse, Trey Benson, and we were good. But now we're not good anymore. And if Florida State is going to be back to the championship level, we're going to have to fill the gaps with transfer portal. But the primary players, the core group of players, is going to have to be guys we recruit. And you're in the state of Florida, so there's no reason you can't recruit great football players in the state of Florida. The transfer portal should enhance those guys like free agency does in the NFL. But if you're an NFL team and all you're relying on is free agency, you're never going to be successful. If you're a college football program and you're mostly relying on transfer portal, you may hit one year, but you're going to struggle like consistently competing. And that's what has happened to my Noles. So we're going to have to find a way to recruit better, because the guys right now playing in a Seminole jersey, number one, they're just hired hitmen. Number two, they're not that caliber of dudes, man. They're just not. Compare that to Clemson. Dabo says, bump that. I'm not going to the transfer portal. He refuses to go to the portal. And as a result, Clemson is decent, but they're not the powerhouse they once were. So it's like a dichotomy there. It's like, what do you do? Do you go to the portal or do you not? I appreciate his loyalty. I appreciate him, having his players back and sticking to his guns and his roots. But is Clemson ever going to really challenge for the championship again if they don't ever go to the portal? They have a winning record. They're winning this year, but they're not really true championship caliber contenders. Whereas Florida State is portal heavy and they suck. Terrible. Garbage. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Like, if Dabo can get Clemson back to the top without going to the portal, that'll be a huge win. By the way, the portal is a mess. UNLV's quarterback just straight up quit the team recently because he was like, I was promised X amount of dollars with the NIL. Like, I was promised, some money and I ain't get it, so I'm out. I'm gonna sit out the rest of the year in redshirt. Are you kidding? This thing is a mess, and I blame it all on the NCAA. I've said it before. Had the NCAA not been so greedy and some straight up crooks stealing money from these kids for so long, had they put up a structure way long ago when college football started to make a turn for profitability for a lot of people, except for the players in college basketball, had the NCAA had the balls to do what was right, it wouldn't have come to this. But now it's a mess. The NIL is a mess. Dudes are just coming in asking, who gonna pay me, bruh? And if you ain't got the checkbook, I'm not coming. And I can't blame them because for so long the coaches did that. The coaches got all the money. And the ADs got all the money. And the NCAA president got all the money. And they were hoarding all that stuff. So now the players are like, look, man, you're going to have to come out some money or I ain't coming. So the whole system is messed up, as I've already talked about. And it's all because the NCAA were some crooks and they never did what was right for the players. But this transfer portal thing is wild. Because players just get to go in and out. Now they don't have to sit out a year. So, yeah, I'm not getting paid what I want. I'm transferring. Peace. That's crazy. That's worse than NFL free agency. Like, at least in the NFL free agency, like, you got to play out your contract. These dudes, hey, I'm just going to sit out the year. I'm out. I'm out. And it's only happening because the NCAA is ran by crooks who, Mark Emmert and these guys, when they were making plenty of money, they should have looked out for the players before so that it would have never gotten to this. But no, they looked out for themselves and their homies. That was a tangent. Didn't mean to go there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how quickly Florida State can build back up because their Mike is definitely going to use the portal. Mike Norvell is definitely going to use the portal. And Dabo is not going to use the portal. So I want to see if Dabo can actually keep elevating his program to championship level without the portal or if he actually dips his toe in there to get some players. But yeah, my nose suck. Trash. Golly. So bad. Georgia, UGA, usually looks like a dominant team, except when they play Bama. Whether it's Nick Saban, Kalen DeLoach. So here's my take on this UGA thing. I think they're kind of overrated. I don't trust their quarterback. Even though they ended up making that game close the other day against Alabama, I don't know if I trust their quarterback in big spots against the best teams. So the lower teams, they're going to beat them. They're going to drum up on them. But the best of the best teams that can match their physicality, which is where they beat you at, they're an SEC squad. Alabama can match their physicality and athleticism. Other teams who can match their athleticism and physicality, I think they can be beat. So when you watch them initially early in the year, oh, Georgia looks invincible. And then they play Alabama. Alabama runs it up quick on them. Quick. Alabama gets out quick, blowing them out, and then they come back. But when you watch the first part of that game, it was like, who's these dudes? These impersonators, these fraudsters. Alabama was smashing these cats. So, yeah, I don't know who the champion is going to be. 12-team playoff now in college football. We'll see how it shakes out. Obviously, nowadays, one L doesn't take you out of the playoffs. So, UGA is going to be back in there. Bama's going to be up in there. We'll see who else is going to be up in there. But right now, like if somebody says, well, who's the champion? I don't know who's going to be the champion. Ohio State? I don't know. But what I really wanted to talk about college football is Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter right now is a Heisman Trophy favorite to me. This dude's playing both sides of the ball, and he's not playing part-time. Travis Hunter is playing full-time both ways. I have never seen anything like that, man. I saw Charles Woodson play both ways, but he wasn't playing full-time. Jesus Christ. He's an elite athlete. Quick twitch muscles, man. Instincts, reacting, intelligence. He is all that. So, yeah, Travis Hunter should be the Heisman as of now. Like, he makes game-saving plays, intercepts the balls that shouldn't be intercepted. He tackles and causes fumbles to win games. This dude is all world. I've never seen anything like it. I really haven't. This is a one-of-one athlete. And Colorado is probably not – I don't know how many more games Colorado's going to win. And it's literally like Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter on that team. A couple of guys sprinkled in. But those two are the dudes. And Shedeur is making a name for himself. He's not just Deion's kid. Shedeur is actually a baller. But anyway, so Travis Hunter is amazing, and he's like that. He deserves all the accolades, Heisman, whoever the trophy for the best cornerback, whatever the trophy for the best wide receiver. Like, he should get them all. He should sweep them. Travis Hunter should sweep all the awards, man. Best defensive player, best offensive player. Like, he should sweep all the awards, Heisman and everything. So here's my question, though. Can he do that in the NFL? I'm not a scout. Obviously, I never played in the NFL. But can he replicate that in the league? Can Travis Hunter play both ways in the league? Because to me, he appears small. So can his frame put up with going both ways in the league? Can his frame put up with being corner? So if he goes to the league, he's going to be a smaller corner, at least in my eyes, with these huge receivers now. Is he going to get pushed around? But he has elite athleticism, elite instincts. Maybe it makes up for that. Who knows? Because Deion wasn't a big corner either. But hey, you wouldn't throw the Deion side. But Travis Hunter is like that. So is he gonna play cornerback in the league? Is he gonna play receiver in the league? Again, he's small. I don't know. Experts out there, what's realistic? I doubt he plays both ways in the NFL. Injury risk is too high. But what's truly his best position? People are saying, I follow Richard Sherman online. Richard Sherman thinks his best position should be cornerback because of his instincts, his natural ability, and his smarts. But when I watch him play receiver, I'm like, damn, this dude, he high points the ball like anybody else. He runs routes like anybody else. Like, he's a wide receiver too. Like, he excels at both positions. This is just amazing. I don't know what to say about Travis Hunter, man. I've seen two-way players not like that. And so I wanted to give him a shout-out on this show. Travis Hunter, you are like that, bro. You are nice. Travis Hunter is the kid around the neighborhood that did everything well. Like they were just natural athletes. They were the fastest. They could hit the baseball the farthest. They could catch the ball, throw the ball. They could hoop. Like, damn, bro. You could do everything. I was like that. Nah, I ain't gonna front. I was all right. Your boy was all right as an athlete. Nah, Travis Hunter is just different, man. He's different. A lot of guys get labeled one of one and unicorn. Like, nah, Travis Hunter he's one of one. He really is. And I appreciate that. He goes out there, he grinds, he doesn't complain, win, lose, or draw. He just plays. But yeah, this brother should sweep all the awards in the year. Heisman, Bednarik, or whatever the award is. Best receiver, best corner. We should take it all home. Because he really is. He really is. All right, let's do some NFL. My Dolphins are not in a great spot. Tua is hurt. Who knows when he's coming back. It's just a bad situation. First of all, on the Dolphins are a soft football team. I hate to say it about a football team, but the Dolphins are a soft football team. Offense looks amazing when it's ticking, but when another team gets up in them, they look soft. Buffalo got up in them, they look soft. Before Tua got hurt, Buffalo muscled them around, pushed them around. And they had no chance in that game because they're soft. And even after Tua got hurt, right? Tua's a quarterback. He's not a defensive player. The defense goes up to Seattle, and they don't look good. They're getting ran through by Seattle. So they're a finesse team. Great offense when Tyreek's catching the ball and he's doing his thing. They look great, but the Dolphins are a soft football team. And Mike McDaniel, dude, the offense looks great again. But if your team just continues to look like butter soft like that, that looks bad on you, bro. That looks bad on you. So as a Dolphins fan, I don't like to admit it, but even with Tua, that team's not a championship caliber team because they're just soft. The more physical teams are always going to get up in them. They're always going to cause problems. When Tua can't throw those timing passes, 1-2, let the ball go, when he has to hold on to the ball, he looks trash. And then now he's hurt. And on that topic, I think Tua should retire. By the way, y'all look out for future episodes about brain injuries and that stuff. Got a couple episodes lined up on that. But Tua should retire. Like, his concussions don't just look like regular concussions. His concussions continue to look awful, man. He continues to have the fencing position. Like, he gets a concussion just running into Damar Hamlin, bro. Damar Hamlin's not even that big. That tells me Tua's body is fragile, and he can't keep taking those kind of hits no more, man, because he's putting himself at risk now. And I can almost guarantee it, Tua's going to retire, and if he keeps playing, he's not going to be the same guy, unfortunately. Great kid, but I think Tua should retire. All right, let's keep going. There's this, as I'm watching the NFL, man, there's some seriously bad QB play happening, all right? I'm not a QB expert. I don't break down tape. But from a fan's perspective, as I watch the games, there's some really bad QB play. Dudes are missing some wide open receivers. So here's my take on NFL and QB play, all right? Everyone's athletic. Everyone can run now. Everyone can throw on the run. Everybody has a missile for an arm, for a right arm. Like, flick of the wrist, the ball is 50 yards downfield. Everybody can throw the bomb. Easy. Everybody can run. Everybody can escape. You know what everybody doesn't do in the NFL anymore? Complete easy passes. Like the stuff right in front. Nobody can cut you up like Tom Brady did anymore. Like paper cut you. Like pew, 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 pew. March you down the field. Everything is boom or bust now. And the defenses have adjusted to realize, oh, these guys don't really know how to be quarterbacks like that. They can make splash plays and they can run around, but most of these guys, they're not able to methodically drive a team down the field, take what the defense gives you. They're not able to recognize pre-snap and like all these things that the Mannings and the Bradys and the Roethlisbergers and the Rivers is like, and it kind of reminds me of the NBA. And modern NBA fans, like the current NBA players are better than older NBA players or previous generation NBA players because these guys can shoot three nows and they're making crazy, spectacular plays. And it's the same thing in the NFL. It's like, yeah, you can shoot a lot of threes, but you can't hit a midi. And you don't know how to cut and set a pick. So do you really know how to play basketball? In the NFL, are you really a quarterback if the only thing you can do is either run around or make a splash deep bomb play? You can't dissect the defense like some of these older guys used to do. So people are going to say the current generation, is better than Phillip Rivers. Oh, the current dudes are better than Drew Brees. It's like, they're more athletic. They could throw farther. They could run better. But the ability to diagnose is gone. The ability to pick people apart is gone. So as I watch these quarterbacks, these dudes are missing wide open receivers, bro. They're throwing behind them. It's just, wow. But they got rocket arms. Anthony Richardson has a rocket arm. But he is wild with his accuracy. 1 minute he'll hit a shot, you'll be like, God, duh. How'd he do that? And then the next is like, damn, how'd he miss that? These guys are wildly inconsistent. So there was conversation in the media a couple of weeks ago about, teams are playing more cover 2 now, and as a result, it's less scoring. It's less scoring because quarterback play hasn't adjusted and is not able to adjust. Like, you weren't going to just sit there and play cover 2 against Brady. He would pick that chunk apart. So would Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger. You would have to mix things up. So the quarterback play is troubling to me, man. It's a struggle. These guys are athletic. They can throw the hell out of the ball. But I fear, and again, I'm not a QB expert, I fear that they may not be playing the mental part of the game that they need to. And as a black man, it's tough to say that because it's a lot more black quarterbacks. But it's true. Warren Moon could diagnose the hell out of a defense. So it ain't about black quarterbacks not being able to. It's the modern day dudes. Donovan McNabb could diagnose a defense. But that's just me, though. Maybe I'm wrong. But to me, I'm watching people miss. Like, man's right there, throw the ball. Like, why is it behind him? Why can't you hit that guy? But it's tough to watch, man. It's tough to watch this bad. These guys are so athletic and so gifted, but it's tough to watch them be such poor quarterbacks, like poor quarterback play, mediocre. And Tom Brady talked about that a couple years ago. One thing with the quarterback play is the ability to draft quarterbacks. Teams struggle to make the right decision when drafting quarterbacks. They don't have the right environment set up for them to succeed. I'm looking at somebody like Bryce Young. All of a sudden, everybody thinks Bryce Young sucks. Does Bryce Young suck or does his environment suck? We don't know. Now, it does look bad that the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, came in and the offense looks 100 times better. So maybe Bryce Young is not who he was hyped up to be. But maybe it would have been better for Bryce Young to sit down. Because as I listen to these experts on TV talk, you can be a really good quarterback, but because you're thrown into a bad situation, you develop bad habits. And you become unsure of yourself. If you don't trust your blocking, you don't trust your receivers, now you're seeing ghosts like Sam Darnold. Now Sam Darnold's looking amazing in Minnesota. So was Sam Darnold always this guy and the Jets messed him up? So is Bryce Young still good, but he's been messed up? He's been scarred in Carolina and he needs to go find a good team? A team that's going to maximize his talents? I don't know. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what's going on with Bryce Young. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know if Bryce Young is good or not. I don't know. But what I do know is that when you come in as a rookie and things around you suck, a lot of dudes, it compounds and it snowballs, and next thing you know, you start doubting yourself and you're unsure of what you're seeing, you're unsure of your abilities, and now you're no longer a viable quarterback. And I say this because as a Miami Dolphins fan, I watched Tua go through the same thing. Justin Herbert was putting up crazy numbers, but Tua was out here looking like a scrub because the Dolphins didn't have no weapons around him. And I'm not saying Tua's great and a Hall of Famer, but he's better than what he showed his first couple of years. So I believe the same thing with Bryce Young. I don't know if Bryce Young's going to be an all-pro Pro Bowler. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure he's better than what he's shown these first couple of years. But he's probably scarred. He's probably got PTSD playing in that pocket. Like, he probably doesn't trust the coaching. I don't know. But he wasn't put in the best position to succeed. Probably should have sat his first year. I don't know. But nowadays, the clock starts ticking to that second big contract, or that first big contract after the rookie contract. So these dudes got to play immediately because the teams want to find out right now if you're good, if you can play. Within the first couple of years, teams want to know, can you play, or else what are we going to do? Fifth-year option? What are we going to do? Draft somebody else? So these dudes got to play right now, and that's what happened to Bryce Young. Probably would have been best to sit behind the red rifle and learn like Mahomes did. But it didn't work out that way. So now he's on the bench. Red rifle comes in, looks good, and everybody's like, Bryce Young sucks. I don't know. I don't know if he sucks or not. I don't know if he's good or not. But sometimes, and plenty of people have said this, you walk into a bad situation and it messes you up. It messes up your brain, and now you're not who you used to be, not who you're supposed to be. You can't fulfill your destiny. You can't live up to your talent because you develop bad habits, and now you're scared. So unfortunately, Bryce Young is a casualty of a bad organization. On the other hand, Jayden Daniels looks amazing. Washington Commanders. Jayden Daniels looks amazing, and I'm going to say this. I think the Bears drafted the wrong QB, number one. And people call me a Caleb Williams hater. I'm not much of a hater. I'm not impressed with quarterbacks who do a lot of fancy stuff, whoopsie-doos, and spinning around in college. Because I know the NFL is nothing like college. You ain't going to come to the NFL spinning around 3 times, throwing the ball, and it looks all amazing. Unless you're Josh Allen. Josh Allen and Lamar. Now, you're not going to be doing that. So when I see Caleb Williams doing all these things at USC, I'm like, good for him. Good for you, brother. Nice arm. Talented guy. Athletic. But what I didn't see enough is the routine plays. And as I'm watching the Bears fans ain't going to like this. As I'm watching the Bears, yeah, he has a nice, strong arm. But I'm watching the Bears, and Caleb Williams is missing some routine plays. He's inaccurate on some routine passes that, as a number 1 pick, with the hype, the generational hype, this guy was set to be the greatest quarterback to come out of college since John Elway. The greatest quarterback prospect since John Elway was Caleb Williams. And when I watch him, he's missing some routine stuff. Now, he's made some hell of a throw, a couple of throws that are like, damn. He's made some big-time throws, but he's missing routine stuff that the number 1 pick is supposed to make. Whereas, when I watch Jayden Daniels, he makes all the routine throws, all the basic stuff that's right in front of him. He's accurate as hell, let alone all the deep passes he's connecting on. But the routine stuff, where the stuff is right in front of him, he's making them. And that's the sign to me of a great quarterback. A great quarterback to me is not just a guy who's fancy and spinning around and running around and throwing off platform, which people get enamored with. To me, a great quarterback is the guy who just does the routine so consistently that you take it for granted. And Jayden Williams has been on a roll. His passing accuracy percentage is ridiculous, and the Commanders are winning because of him, not in spite of him. So after all that hype around Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels might have been the better prospect. But the fans and the media were enamored with Caleb Williams' ability to do crazy stuff. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Like, I like my quarterbacks. They could be athletic, but not so much reliant on their athletic ability, just using their mind and hitting those darts, man. Boom, boom, boom. And Jayden Daniels is just that. Check out this guy's numbers, man. Go back and check out this guy's numbers. They're ridiculous. They're ridiculous. So here's my recommendation to the league when drafting QBs, y'all. Segue. My recommendation for drafting QBs in the NFL. Don't draft QBs who are playing on stacked teams. That's number one. Most of them will fail. CJ Stroud might be the exception. Can't think of anybody else. Who else in the league right now, quarterback, is balling out and played on a stacked squad with a bunch of 5-star receivers who don't have a stacked receiver group around them, right? That's the difference. So CJ Stroud is balling. You wouldn't say his receiving core is stacked, though. They're good, but they're not stacked. Joe Burrow balled out at LSU. Joe Burrow balled out at LSU, had a stacked receiver squad, and his receiver squad been pretty stacked for his career. I mean, Higgins and Chase are pretty much two number one receivers. He had Tyler Boyd, who's now gone. But stuff looks different when one of those boys is out, as we saw earlier in the year. But there's not a lot of guys who, when they play with, they put up crazy numbers playing on an all-star team in college, come to the league and tear it up. Tua played with a hell of a lot of talent at Bama. And I knew it when we drafted him. I knew it. That, hey, man, he's playing with some guys. And listen, until we got Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, Tua was looking sus. But now he's in this fast break offense with Mike McDaniel, and he looks amazing. But again, as I said before, when things get tight, he's not able to perform. So my first recommendation for NFL teams, think long and hard before drafting somebody who plays with a whole bunch of 4 and 5 stars in college. Because a lot of times, those guys are doing a lot of the work, and they're making this quarterback look great. Find somebody who played in a tough situation. Not many great players like Andrew Luck. Not many great players around him. He just, find those guys. Secondly, stay away from the fancy guys. Stay away from the guys who making a bunch of splash plays and off-platform and, crazy arm angles. That stuff doesn't work in the league, bro, very seldomly. And if this guy's doesn't show you that he can make basic routine plays consistently, don't draft him. All right? That's my draft expertise. Don't draft dudes who are playing on stacked teams. Like I remember Danny Warfel back in the day. Danny Warfel in those Gators teams, mid-90s Gators team, put up some nasty stats. But that's because the talent around them was ridiculous. It was crazy. Those UF teams with Steve Spurrier were stacked. They were loaded like Bama and Georgia are now. So, no, I would not draft Carson Beck. And I don't think I'm drafting Jalen Milroe. Sorry, guys. Sorry. That's just me, though. And stay away from the Caleb Williams clones. Guys who's trying to be Patrick Mahomes. Like, there's only one Pat. All right? You're taking a chance when you draft a guy who's doing a lot of fancy stuff and showboating stuff. And I prefer the guys who just play football, Who knew Brock Purdy? Maybe take a look at guys like Brock Purdy, who are just football playing quarterbacks. All right, enough NFL, enough football. Couple of things real quick on basketball in the NBA. So, 2 days ago, Julius Randle gets traded for Karl Anthony Towns. I'm not sure about that trade. Here's what I do know. If y'all go back to my episode about Anthony Edwards and talking about 90s players, only player in the 90s who had skill was Jordan. I talked about the fact that if Anthony Edwards had Patrick Ewing, an unskilled 90s player, he would probably be a champ. And they went and got Julius Randle because, like a 90s player, although Julius Randle is not Patrick Ewing, but Julius Randle can bang down low. Julius Randle doesn't mind physicality. So he might be a little bit shorter than Cat. He might not be the greatest shooting big man like Cat claims to be. That's fine. If you're going to be 7 foot, forget about being the greatest three-point shooter ever. We need you in the paint. And that was my argument all along about this 90s players not being skilled thing is these dudes knew how to get physical down low. And Julius Randle, at the very least, is not afraid of contact down low. So if you're the Dallas Mavericks and you think you're just going to, put P.J. Washington on Julius Randle, he's going to walk him down into the paint and foul him out, get him in foul trouble. So while he may not space the floor like a Karl Anthony Towns, in the playoffs, and they're probably going to add more pieces, but in the playoffs, Julius Randle is going to be critical because Julius Randle has no problem getting his butt in the post and working dudes out. And as I've said, the more you get in the post, the more you're liable to get the other team in foul trouble. Now you have Anthony Edwards coming at you and you're in foul trouble. Forget the three-point shooting, man. Save the three-point shooting for your wings, bro. There's plenty of other guys who can shoot three-pointers. Julius Randle has a much better engine than Karl Anthony Towns. Let's keep it real. Cat is a great talent, but his engine has never been praised by anybody. Jimmy Butler clowned him for that. You ain't got to worry about that with Julius. Like Julius Randle, he'll go. He may have his shortcomings. In the playoffs, he has fallen short. But he's coming up. He's coming like he ain't backing down. He ain't scared. His engine runs hot. And I don't know how Karl Anthony Towns is going to fit in with the Knicks because Cat, like the Knicks are a tough, grinded out team, and Cat wants to sit out there and shoot J's and step backs. He already didn't get along with Tom Thibodeau before Minnesota unless there's been some mending of the fences there. How do people forget that Karl Anthony Towns and Thibodeau had issues? So unless they've mended their relationship and they've gotten it together, Cat doesn't fit Tibbs' style, man. He just doesn't. He's more of a finesse guy. He's like a big wing. Want to take you out on the wing and hit baseline, step backs, and three-pointers. Best shooting big ever. That's why he self-proclaimed. So I'm not a fan. I'm not in love with this trade either way. But I think the Timberwolves will benefit more simply because Julius Randle, when it comes down to it, has no problem going down low and getting physical. And as you watched the playoffs last year, you watched how the Dallas Mavericks essentially out-physicaled the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the Timberwolves had no paint presence because we know Rudy ain't doing nothing on offense. And Cat was out there shooting tray balls. So was Naz Reid. Heck, if you need tray ball shooting, Naz Reid can do that. But Julius has no problems getting in the paint, getting down low and banging down low. So I give the slight edge in this trade to the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards, listen to me, bro. I'm telling you. These dudes that you call no skill, if you had a no skill dude named Patrick Ewing on your team, you're probably a champion by now. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? All right, a couple more things. The culture of basketball is shifting. All right, when I talk about culture, I'm not talking about swag and clothes dudes wear, before the game and walking through the tunnel. I'm talking about the culture of basketball that we grew up on, the old heads. The culture of basketball that the old heads grew up on is changing. Now we're being replaced. Right? It's being replaced in the modern fans, right, by a different type of culture, by the culture of analytics. So those of us who grew up playing basketball and they call us old heads now, the culture around basketball was more, I've talked about this before about, dudes were coming at you and Kobe was coming at you and Jordan was coming at you. It was more of a street game. The NBA used to be, it was creative, but it was physical. It was coming at you. It was mano a mano. Now everybody's looking to switch. Everybody's looking for and it's not a bad idea because you're trying to win a basketball game. But that's not the way it was before. It was more mano a mano. Like, we enjoyed, those of us who witnessed this, we enjoyed watching Carmelo and Bron go head up and each of them get 40 on each other. We loved that. We love watching T-Mac and Kobe go at it. We love watching KD and Bron go at it. We love watching Kobe trying to guard Melo. So they call us old heads now because we enjoyed those things about basketball, and that was a part of the culture of basketball is the best when it gets the best. Jordan and Clyde Drexler, the best against the best. That's how we play in the park. Get who got you. When you're playing pickup, get you who got you. Wait, matchup hunting and all these things. Yeah, sometimes you might ask for a pick. But for the most part, you're trying to go at. That's the beauty of basketball. So there is a lot of things that was cultural in basketball that we grew up with that's going away, right? I'm not even talking about the off the court stuff. Dudes getting in trouble and OnlyFans, like that's a different culture of basketball now. But the NBA culture and the culture of basketball used to be supported by a lot of the stuff dudes who grew up on the playground and went on to play in the NBA. Tracy McGrady talks about how he got exposed to basketball watching older dudes in the playground. But now, dudes, it's everybody just playing, organized ball, AAU and trainers, and the game is homogenized, and there's no variety in skill anymore. There's no variety in game. There's no distinction between Vince Carter and the Kobe and the T-Mac. Everybody's the same. Everybody's in the same step back, the same travel moves, all that, right? I've talked about that ad nauseum. I'm not going to go through that again. But something that's changing with the culture of basketball is how we talk about basketball. So now when you talk about basketball, everything has to be about efficiency. And every conversation around basketball now revolves around efficiency. Is what they're doing efficient? Does it lead to more efficiency? So we're losing the culture of basketball where when you're at the gym and you're having a conversation with your boys on the sideline waiting for downs, you could talk about a pure scorer. Oh, this guy is a bucket. That lingo is being phased out and being replaced by efficiency. Is he efficient? In the culture of basketball that we grew up in, a pure scorer it was fun to watch a pure scorer. It's fun to watch that guy that nobody can stop. It's fun to watch mano a mano basketball, man to man go at it. Even though today's game will say, well, you should go hunting for the weakest defender. Well, yeah, we know that. But sometimes we just want to watch the two best go at it. It's more fun that way. Truth is, analytics basketball is not fun. It's not fun to watch. At least for those of us who actually play basketball, it's not fun to watch. It would be great to watch Dame and Steph go at it, mano a mano. But no. They're picking on the weakest defender. They're running, like LeBron is running endless pick and rolls. Like, we miss those days, Bron, of you and KD going back. And Bron is old now. But we miss the days of watching Bron and KD go back and forth. Everybody's not just endless pick and rolls, hunting the weakest matchup. So yeah, it's okay. Luka goes off, but he's drilling a bunch of shots against somebody who can't guard him, like Rudy Gobert. And Luka doesn't really have an equivalent. That's the problem. But let's say LeBron was in his prime. It would have been great to watch Luka go up against LeBron, but in today's game, that's never going to happen because LeBron would run a million pick and rolls. Well, Luka's not a great defender. This is a bad example. But Luka would never go at LeBron because Luka would just be seeking a whole bunch of pick and rolls until he got somebody who couldn't defend on him. Whereas back in the day, we enjoy watching those matchups. So the vernacular of basketball, of the culture of basketball is changing. So now when we talk about pure scorers, dudes get offended when we say, hey, LeBron's not a pure scorer. We're like, well, he's not efficient. Dude, who the hell cares about efficiency? KD already told y'all, man. Who the hell wants to look at a spreadsheet when we're having a hoop conversation, man? We're just talking basketball. But the culture of basketball is changing. Right? There's nothing wrong with efficiency, but that's a different conversation. Pure scorer is its own conversation. But you're trying to take away that cultural aspect of hoop talk. Dudes who are sitting on the court on the sideline waiting for downs, those are the conversations we have. Nobody at a basketball court is talking about efficiency, man. Like I said before, if you're at a basketball court and they're talking about efficiency, that court sucks. Find somewhere else to play. That gym's garbage. Because that's not hoop talk. There's a place and time for everything. Yes, efficiency matters, and the assumptions that dudes who talk about hoop in a certain way don't care about efficiency, we only care about dumb mid-range shots, that's a false assumption. Because we know what smart shots are. We know what a ball hog is. But in hoop conversation, when you talk about a pure scorer, we have to define what a pure scorer means to these guys who don't know what we're talking about. That's culture. There's a cultural aspect of basketball that's being taken away. And people get mad when, there's, content creators, podcasters talking about pure hoopers and pure scorers and the midi, and like these are all parts of basketball conversation it's fun. It's fun to watch a pure scorer just get buckets and buckets and buckets endlessly. It's fun to watch Kobe Bryant get endless buckets in the mid-range. It's fun to watch KD go ham in the mid-range and T-Mac just unstoppable. It's fun to watch that. Hand in your face, still drilling shots. It's fun to watch that. It's more fun for my generation to watch Kobe Bryant drill a whole bunch of shots in Bruce Bowen's face with his hand all in his grill than to watch somebody hitting a whole bunch of step-back threes. It's okay. It's okay when James Harden gets hot and he's hitting a whole bunch of step-back threes. He's traveling anyway. I mean, when Steph goes ballistic, it's good to watch because he goes crazy. But there is nothing like watching Kobe Bryant just hit tough shot after tough shot. So you can call it inefficient all you want to, but that is fun basketball, man. And at the end of the day, basketball is entertainment. And it is entertaining as hell to watch Kobe Bryant drill shot after shot after shot where people are putting their hands up like, what the hell can you do? That's a pure scorer, man. That's the fun part of basketball. That's the fun part of basketball of basketball conversation. So people are trying to take that away. They're trying to take the culture away from that's around the game. That's like people who don't understand the handshake. Like black folks dap you up. They could just do a regular handshake. Analytics is the regular handshake. Strong handshake. When you're shaking a man's hand, strong handshake. Yes, I teach my sons strong handshake. Shake somebody's hand. But I also teach them culture. Dap me up, my man. That's hoop talk. Analytics, shake your hand. Hoop talk, my man. Like the Key and Peele skit of Obama dapping people up and hugging black folks, but shaking hands with the white dudes. It's true. If you didn't grow up on a park playing basketball, you're not going to understand the concept of the pure scorer, and that's okay. Don't diminish it, though. Don't do that. It's fun. It's fun, literally. It's not always going to be the best basketball. It's not going to always win you games, just like analytics basketball doesn't always win you games. The Celtics lost a championship, a chance to go to a championship, because they refused to play actual basketball. They kept settling for a bunch of threes against the Miami Heat a couple years ago. And they let a bunch of mid-range shooting dudes, Jimmy Butler and company, beat them. So please, for the love of God, you can love your analytics, but let us have our culture. The culture of basketball. Analytics, shake my hand. Culture, what's up, my guy? Speaking of culture and basketball, I got to say something about sneakers. So I saw that Jaylen Brown created his own shoe, and it reminds me of Shaq creating his own shoe back in the day. But Shaq had his own shoe because there was a cheaper alternative. He wanted a cheaper alternative to Nike and Reebok and so on. So Jaylen Brown comes out with his own shoe because he's hoping, he's in his own words, is essentially, he's saying, even if my shoe doesn't sell, I'm hoping to open the creative doors to other guys to allow them to feel like, hey, I can create my own shoe and I don't have to be stuck with these big guys. But here's my problem with shoe culture. As a Nike guy, Nike shoes suck now. Current Nike shoes suck now. Like if it ain't retro Jordan or something like that, most Nike shoes don't. I struggle when I go on the Nike app to find some good looking Nike shoes that I want to buy. Like their designs suck now. Whereas Adidas is taking over, man. Like Anthony Edwards shoes is nice. And I'm sitting here buying my kids Nikes. I don't know why I'm so damn loyal to Nike. But I'm buying my kids Nike shoes all the time. Maybe I should just get them Adidas, bro, because those Anthony Edwards shoes are fire. But Nike got to step their game up because as I'm thinking of the culture of basketball, Nike played a big role in the culture of basketball. Like we wear Nike clothes and shirts and shorts. We hoop in Nike black socks. Nike shoes all around. But Nike has taken a hit. Nike is taking a step back. They continue to make money because of the Jordans, retro Jordans. But as like a performance brand for basketball, their designs are suspect as hell. And I'm probably never going to wear Adidas again. My last pair of Adidas was the T-Max shoes. But I am tempted as heck to get Anthony Edwards shoes for the boys. I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, so Jaylen Brown's coming out with his own sneaker line. I'm interested to see how many other dudes do that. Klay Thompson already goes to China to get his shoes, right? He's not with any of the big boys. The Joker, Nikola Jokic, is not with the big boys. Like, a bunch of cats are leaving Nike and Adidas. Maybe the other companies are paying them more. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see if more dudes just come out with their own stuff. The Jaylen Brown shoes, by the way, they look kind of weird. They look like space shoes. So no, I'm not getting those if you're wondering. I'm not getting those Jaylen Brown shoes if you're wondering. Oh, man. All right, y'all. Had a good time. Football's in full swing. NBA's about to be back. Got some real conversations coming up for y'all, though. So y'all check out. Y'all be on the lookout for those. But I'll catch y'all next time. Mike, sports and the real shit. Peace.
I'm going straight to the top. Just put the sec on the clock. I am Rihanna's a shot. I'm going straight to the top.